Hey, hey, everyone. Happy New Year and all that jazz. I'm not really a Happy New Year person or a Christmas person, so that's about all you could get from me, okay? So it is what it is. I'm Dr. Tamu Petra Brown of Coaching by Tamu and Innovative Education and Training. We are live on LinkedIn, Facebook, and what else? LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube, right? And so, of course, you can ask your questions. They'll pop up on the side for me and I'll read them. And of course, if you have questions when you watch the replay, because the replay to me is like, wait, does happen? So if you have questions, I always aim to answer them. So tonight I have another one of my Level Up Ladies graduates. So last time I had Kyla Brown, founder of Beauty by Kai. The time before that, way back in 2023. I had Nama Gonela, and she is the founder of Namara's Cafe, Imara's Design, and she has rebranded for 2024 and is now Namara's Haven. And so tonight, I have with me yet another one of these wonderful ladies from my Level Up Ladies Accelerator. I have with me Anastasha Elliott. She is no stranger to the Caribbean entrepreneurship ecosystem and even wider. And what I'm talking to Anastasia about this evening is accelerator programs and pitch competitions. So previously, when I spoke with Kyla, we looked at portfolio diversification as a growth strategy. With NAMA, we looked at global entrepreneurship as a growth strategy. And so now tonight, Anna, we are going to be looking at accelerator programs and pitch competitions, entering those as growth strategies. Because the goal is, of course, to show founders all over, not just Caribbean people, that there are
Mm.
many ways to grow your business. So, Anna, welcome. And of course, do your wonderful introduction.
Thank you for having me. Good night, everybody. My name is Anastasia Elliott. I am the CEO and co-founder of Sugartown Organics, based here in St. Kitts, and we are a social enterprise crafting wellness products, health and wellness products using local agricultural produce and implementing my family legacy recipes as a base.
Yeah. I considered talking to you about family business, but I'm sure we'll circle back around another time. I was like, maybe I should change the topic, but yeah. So
We'll come back
I
to it
want,
next.
yeah, next time we'll talk about it because that's its
Yeah,
own unique,
yeah.
um, composition and model, and there's a lot that goes with that. So the
Mhm.
first question I have for you is, can you tell us when you decided that entering accelerator programs and entering pitch competitions would give a boost to your business growth?
I don't think it was a thought that I started out with. It was
Mm,
more something that I happened upon, a situation that I happened upon.
mm,
I mean, starting out, I knew that being as a person from this country growing up here, everybody knows me. It would have been difficult for me to come with what was a new concept when I started organic product, natural products. Like nobody knew what that meant, right? The assumption was like anything that was made here in St. Louis was organic, right? And so I really had to do a lot of that whole education, pairing education with business thing. And even starting, I had to really think about how would I pitch what I was doing? How would I launch it in a way that the local population would accept it? Because they're who I wanted to produce for, not for export in the beginning, right? Because starting, they always tell you dominate your local market first, and then you export. And so that
good
was what I
advice.
started. That was like my concept was like, how do I launch into my local market? Because this is where I was anyway, right? So how do I launch into my local market in a way that would be accepted, that people would understand what I was trying to achieve and what I was offering them? And so I really had to dig deep and think about that. It took me some time, which technically in the beginning I had because it took me like five years to get product launched anyway. So I had some time talking to people and because I was in media for almost a decade prior to that, they really had a sort of network already built where I could tap into information. And so I decided that I would use, how do I put this nicely? I
Use
would
your
use it.
network, leverage.
No, not really leverage, but just the way how people are. Like they had to see somebody do it. Like here, you have they want to see somebody do it first. Somebody use it first.
Mm-hmm.
And you went a lot further if it was somebody white who did it or who used it. We're talking about who were giving the reviews. It
Yeah.
was just a time, right? I understood that. I wasn't fussy about it. I understood it. I just had to figure out how would I use that to sort of get me that foothold that I wanted in the beginning. And
Mm-hmm.
so I came upon this beach fair, Spice Fest, that was
Mm-hmm.
hosted by the Spice Mill. And when I looked at it, I was like, there's a lot of locals gonna go over there so far, because they're way over on the tip of the Southeast Peninsula. And but I was like, the type of people who would go though, I looked like the type of people who would go over there. I was like, that might be what I need without me having to go and create something. So I went. Um, it was a weekend, so we had like a Friday, Saturday, Sunday thing happening.
Remember
Um,
that.
and I sold out. I was quite surprised by that. I expected to just go and just spend the time talking to people, I'm saying to say, oh, I'm doing this and this is my product, you can try it. But interesting enough, they bought. So that was good, it was a good boost for me.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, I started doing little events like that, like going to spaces where it wasn't a lot of locals. There's a few locals, so it would have been more the locals who were like upper class, right? So, but they talk, right? They
Mm.
talk to their friends, and the friends talk to their friends, and the friends talk to the friends, and so they trickle down that way for me. So that was what I used, and because I had that experience, I think it played a role in me looking at accelerator programs as a way to grow. Because I
Mm.
think I went there into a program that CARICOM was hosting. I think it was SIBO.
Mm.
Um, mm, Out of that, I went from there into a pitch competition. I knew
Mm-hmm.
nothing about pitching at this time. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I was like they were trying to explain to me, and I wasn't getting it. I,
Yeah,
I
too
remember telling the
abstract.
lady, yeah, I was remember telling the lady, let me do it. Even if I do it wrong, just let me do it and let me see what it is you're talking about. Because what you're telling me, it make no sense to me,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
I did it and I actually won. I remember that I won. And I had that aha moment, like, oh, okay. Because when I won, all the promotion that came with it, suddenly I was like
Yeah,
known. I went from being known as a journalist and model to now this new entrepreneur
founder,
person. Yeah, this
a
founder
founder.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And because I saw that, I saw how the impact of that. Then I had a strategy that I could use to grow.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I like that. And I just like, it wouldn't be Dr. Tamu if she don't talk about what is statistics and data.
Yeah.
That's just me. And what you find in the research, the entrepreneurship ecosystem research, particularly for Black women founders, it doesn't matter if they're in tech, it really doesn't matter. Although pitch competitions tend to be more tech oriented in like North America. But what was found is that the high growth entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs who attracted investors that they
Mhm.
pitched, and they pitched often,
Yeah.
and that whether or not some of them received investment funding, even though
Mhm.
they did not win,
Mhm.
because of the, like you were talking about, the visibility
Yeah.
that pitch competitions provide.
Mhm.
And the research is very similar when it comes to accelerator programs. And
Mhm.
I believe that is because, they generally twin an
Mm-hmm.
accelerator program, and at the end is a pitch competition. So they tend to be they tend to be twinned, and the reason
Yeah.
is because they want to help develop entrepreneurs. So I
Yeah.
like that you said there's some key things. You talk about the visibility, and then you talk about you consciously deciding that it was a strategy to help
Mhm.
you grow your business. Now, I do have some question, well, some a question. So just to
Mhm.
provide context to our audience, people who are watching and listening, can you talk to us or name a few of the countries that you've pitched in or pitched, or attended accelerator programs in, even if they were virtual?
Um, I did Africa. I think we were in Kenya back then.
I
I did,
recall.
yeah. I did one in London with the
Mhm.
ICT, yeah. With in the Caribbean, I actually did some a few here in St. Kitts.
Yeah.
There was a virtual one Wink, um, Pitch It Caribbean, and
Yeah.
then we have we export, of
Yeah.
course. Yeah, that was a big boost. We export.
Mhm.
Um, what else have I done?
Let's do this by the
I did,
Ministry
yeah,
of
level up
Entrepreneurship.
ladies. Yeah, we did level
Think.
up ladies.
Yeah,
Um,
and level up ladies.
I did that was more geared to tech because I wanted to learn how to build a website because the prices that people were giving me was like outrageous at the time.
Mm. Yeah.
Um, and I had some basic understanding of web building, so I did an accelerator to learn how to do that. So my very first website, I actually built it from scratch. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Now, Level Up Ladies, for those of you who do not know, it's an online accelerator. It's 6 months long. It's for women, hence the name Level Up Ladies. And we
Mhm.
really focus on increasing revenues, getting systems in place, so many things. If you go out to tamabrown.com, you'll find the information there, or you can DM me. So, as an accelerator program, Anna, what would you say would have been the benefits to you of investing with me and the Level Up Ladies program?
I would say, well, one, the biggest thing for me was having access to your brain, right? Um, because as founders, we don't know everything. We have this idea, we have this dream, but we may not necessarily have the skills or all the skills or even the network how to get it done. And so I find with accelerator programs, they help to broaden your network, right?
Hmm.
It also helps to give you an idea of what you may be lacking, right? Things
Mm.
that you need to work on and you can work on them in real time because right there you know what it is and you know what you need to do. So
Yeah.
you could implement in real time. And if there's any problems that you may be having, you have someone right there who's working with so that you could get the problem solved right away. It's also helped to sort of give credibility, I think, especially in our
Mm.
society, give me a lot of credibility with me. I always have to constantly say that yes, I have my diplomas in formulation. Yes, I have my foundation degree in food technology. I have to constantly saying yeah. I have my certifications to prove that yes, I'm actually doing it. So I'm qualified to do this. And so it helped to cut a lot of that time I would spend in conversation. Um,
Mm.
and create that platform where yeah I know her, she's been doing this, she's credible, and help to give me that boost um without me having to spend a whole lot of money in marketing.
Mhm. Yeah, that's really important. And I think too that the group accelerators like Level Up Lady, they are helpful because you spoke about network, but also the kind of support
Mhm.
that you receive from your, other founders in the space, etc. Right? So I think that is also very helpful when it comes to accelerator programs, which tend to be group in any event, right?
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
think that's a plug for the accelerator program. Now let's
definitely.
talk about the art of pitching and how pitching outside of pitch competitions has
Mhm.
been a growth pathway for you.
Okay. I'm not very I would say I'm not very good at pitching. I would say, but
Mhm,
it's more that I don't like to be in front of people talking about myself.
mhm,
I very much like to be in the background and just working on what I need to work on.
mhm.
But with this competition, you have to be front and center. And you have the short
Yeah.
amount of time when you have to deliver a whole lot of information. And in the beginning, for me, it was a challenge. Probably still is to a degree. Just being able trying to figure fit all of what they want to, or what they need to know, or because sometimes I filter by what I think they need to know based on who I'm talking to, right?
Mhm.
Um, and then just being able to deliver that information. But even outside of that, because when you're pitching, you're not just pitching to your judges, there are people in your audience who are listening to you as well. And
Yeah.
oftentimes, even though you may not win, somebody may come to you later on and be like, "Well, I saw you and I like what you were saying, and this is how I can help," and you get the help anyway, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Mhm,
so pitching, I what I did with pitching, I started looking at it as not just me having to go up there and compete with anybody,
mhm.
me just trying to be a to deliver what I'm trying to convey with my business better,
Yeah.
right? No more
Yeah.
concise. And so
Yeah.
each time I do it, I get better and I get faster and I'm able to memorize and everything's in my head. So I don't have to think about it. When you ask my question, I can answer it right away without having to say, oh, I don't know, right?
Oh,
So it helps me with memory recall as well. So it has a lot of benefits, of course.
yeah. It does have a lot of benefits because I always tell people when I do training and you're in a room of entrepreneurs and everyone is quiet, and I'm like, I've never met a quiet, successful founder yet. That you might be an introvert, but you can't be introverted when it comes to communicating your
Yeah.
business, your value proposition, your goals, etc. I mean, the two
Yeah.
things do
You
not
have to,
align.
as an introvert, you have to be, yeah, you're introverted, but you have extrovert tendencies. That was something
Right.
that someone told me once. Yeah, it's fine to be an
Ah,
introvert, but you have to have those
yes.
tendencies that you could talk.
Yes, and so people find it hard to believe, but I am an introvert. I go nowhere, I do nothing except work, but when that switches on and I have to do the Tamu thing, it's on. And I like
Yeah.
to engage, but I am an introvert. But some things too, I think about pitch competitions that I would want to advise is that, when you're entering pitch competitions, if you know the judges ahead of time, you should research them online to see where their interests lie. Because let's say you're not into tech, maybe everyone else is on the table is a tech
Mhm,
founder.
mhm,
um Maybe you want to include some tech in your go to market or your revenue model, etc. So you
mhm.
should never pitch in a vacuum, if you can help it. And I think too that people feel that their pitch should remain the same for every competition. What do you say
No,
about that?
no, it should not. And sometimes even when you get in, you might not know who the judges are, but when you get in the room, you recognize them. You be like, and on the fly, you
Ah,
have to adjust, right? Because you know
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
they want to hear. Right. So
Yeah,
even if you may not necessarily have it in the deck that you're showing, because you know them, you talk about it. Right. So
right.
okay, this is what this person's into. So you include a little bit of what they're into just to pique their interest so that you know that they're paying attention and listening to what you're saying.
Mm-hmm. Another thing, too, that speaks to the importance of being extremely prepared and knowing your business, and not just knowing, what you do, but your
Mm-hmm.
actual numbers. Because I think that people misunderstand the purpose of a pitch competition. Even if it's, part of an accelerator, the idea is to prep you to get money, and nobody can give you money or technical assistance for that matter if you come up there not knowing your numbers. How important is the finance piece in pitching?
Extremely important, I would say, because people want to know that they're
Mhm.
dumping money into a hole, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you have to know your numbers. And if you don't know your numbers, then how do you know what is happening to your money? How could they trust you with their money, and you don't know what's going on? There is no confidence from their end that you will be able to handle this money that you're asking for,
I
right? And
like
that you will
that.
have.
I like that concept. Telly is saying she's here on the inside. Telly, you need to
Sally.
yeah, you need to send a question, Telly, in your since you're on the inside. All right, right? Um, yeah. So I like that point that you made. That if how can someone trust you with their money if you don't even know your own money? So that's Telly telling us Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Sally.
Happy New Year, Telly. So now that Telly's popped on, I have another question. What would be the importance of receiving support from whether it's your business advisor, someone like Telly, someone like myself? What's the support structure that you believe is important for a successful pitch, particularly a regional or international pitch competition?
Um, I read this. Maybe it was a movie I was watching. I don't remember where I saw it. Where this gentleman was saying, "You don't know no more business. You know people, right?
I
And
like that.
he knows how to identify talent in people, how to maximize the talent in people, and that is what he's good at, and that's how he builds his business. Me, I am cognizant of the fact that I don't know everything. There are a
Mm-hmm.
lot of questions that I tend to have, um, and I tend to go about getting answers different to probably most people. And
Mm-hmm.
so for me, it's important having people around you who can give you answers when you have questions, right?
Mm-hmm.
You will be in reciprocal to the answers that you're looking for, even if it's not something that is beneficial to you right now. Like it might be a no, right? Like no, that don't make sense. That doesn't mean that you stop what you're doing, right? It's just a way of put. Okay, so you take another look at what you're doing and say, okay, maybe not that way, but let me tweak,
Mm-hmm.
carry it back, and maybe you might get a yeah, okay, that may work better, right? So it's
How do
important to
you
have
seek
people around
out?
you.
How do you seek out these people? So someone watching might be saying, "Okay, that's great. All you
Mhm,
sound good, but
mhm,
what do I know sitting here with my business, growing it in the Caribbean, and now
mhm.
you're telling me I have to pitch internationally? I mean, where am I finding this support? Where did you find your support? Is it through accelerators and pitch competitions?"
Yeah, for the most part, through Accelerator and pitch competitions. Yeah, that's where I think I met most of you. I think I was lucky when I started out. I ended up in a network of women who were willing to help, right?
Mhm.
Most of the time they didn't know me. I remember when I met Tally, she didn't know me from Adam, and she went to bat for me to get me into a accelerator program where, they didn't
Mhm.
think I deserved to be
Yeah.
there. 'Cause I wasn't
Yeah.
talking what they wanted to hear, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
And
Remember at
sometimes
that time it was so tech
yeah,
based. Yeah.
yeah. So I think you really have to be willing to put yourself out there. And when you're in a space where there's a business advisor who's offering free service, go and ask questions. Introduce
Yeah.
yourself, get to know the people in the space, because you won't know what is there if you don't know who is there and what they're offering, right? So even though you may have a need, who knows you have that need,
Correct.
right?
Correct. Yes. Even in leadership, I say that. I say, I mean, how can your vision catch fire if it's confidential, if it's a secret? You're not
Yeah.
communicating your vision. So in your case, you're saying if you're not communicating your needs, if you're not engaging people. So some people are in accelerator programs, they are in pitch competitions,
Mhm,
but they leave as they came, right?
mhm,
So they don't look at their model and what is required for the next step and
mhm,
determine who in the space might be able to assist them on the next step, to move them onto the next step on the pathway. And I think that's really important. So it's not enough just to enter the accelerator programs. We talked about why they're great. It's not enough just to enter the pitch competitions. We've talked about why they're great. But it's important to be strategic and build your network once you're in these spaces, because generally the coordinators, the coaches, the judges, these are all experts and they have significant networks that
Mhm.
can help you grow your business. So I think I find, I have, hey, judged so many pitch competitions, trained in
No,
so many. I mean, it's I
no.
can't even count at this point. But what I find particularly with the virtual ones, especially, is that the networking component is doesn't exist so much. Like, and that's a sad thing, because sometimes there's so many people in the space and it's virtual, so you all feel disconnected. So that gives me a good segue. What do you think about the efficacy of virtual accelerator programs like Level Up Ladies? Mine is
I think
good
what you
though.
I think what you get out of any program is what you want to get out of that program, right? So even with virtual programs, yeah, you might not necessarily be next to each other, and in the Caribbean we're very social, so that sort of impacts a lot of the virtual programs because we're like that. But if you as an individual, you're going into this program because you want to learn, yeah, you have access to the facilitators and all of that. But you may have another founder next to you who having a similar problem as you,
Problem. Hmm.
who maybe having who is on a plan, who found a solution, right? Why are you not reaching out to that founder? You guys are in the
Hmm.
same state,
Hmm.
right? It's unlikely that they'll tell you no,
Hmm.
may share information with you because you
Hmm.
did to learn sharing anyway, right? And you build your network that way. And
Yeah.
it's and for me it's not that hard because they can't see you anyway. Right? So
With the
if
virtual,
they are case,
it makes
even
it
if they are case,
easier.
like what is woman disturb me for? You can't see
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
Right?
that's true. That's a good point. So Telly
Yeah,
says you sometimes have to fight your inner voice and
yeah,
allow yourself to connect and network. And I always say, well, what do you have to lose?
nothing really.
Nothing. Correct. The only thing you can do is gain.
Mhm,
So you really have nothing to lose. And I believe if we're talking about growth orientation, high growth ventures, etc., then we really, I could go on forever, but I
mhm,
won't start tonight about the power of the network and why
mhm.
network is important. But if I start, I won't stop. Y'all know I'm addicted to
Yeah,
that conversation.
yeah.
Now, speaking of high growth orientation, I created the high growth entrepreneurship roadmap. And on that roadmap, there are some stops, right? And
Mhm,
closer to the beginning is the coach, and closer to the end is the mentor.
mhm.
Now, the question I have for you is, what do you feel is more important as you move into scaling your venture? Is it one or the other? Are they both important? No, I put coach before mentor because you don't want to get a mentor before you have clarified your model, understand, set your goals. Otherwise, you're wasting people's time. So that's why
Indeed.
on my roadmap, it's like that. But what are your thoughts?
I think starting out a coach is necessary,
Yeah.
right? Starting out, you need a coach because you need somebody to sort of handhold in the beginning. Especially if you're the type to be vocal, right, and to put your problems out there. So the coach is important, but along the road, then there may be situations where you need a mentor, especially for topics that you're probably just like financing and kind of things like that are so far over some people's head. You need a mentor,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause a coach can take you so far as well. A mentor is. could be a bit more personal. Um,
Yeah. I agree, right? I agree. Um, I think that they're not mutually exclusive,
yeah,
but I believe that certainly mentorship is not appropriate at your very early stages, if that makes sense. I don't think so.
I think so
I
either.
just don't. Yeah. Okay, good. So we're on the same page. So we're not saying that you don't need a coach. We're not saying you don't need a mentor, but we're saying that you need both, but probably at different times. And so if you go to tamobrown.com, once you go to that page, the high growth entrepreneurship roadmap is on there. I was trying to share it on screen, but it's giving me problem and I ain't got the patience with it tonight. Okay. So I don't know what is the problem with it. Okay. So let me just tell it not to bother. So let's see. So Telly agrees. And remember, you can ask your questions. So do that and they'll pop up for me. Your net worth is your network is your net worth. And I
Mm-hmm.
feel like well, that's what I studied, like in my doctoral work. But uh Telly is a master, master network. And I think even before I really understood how your network is your net worth, I was able to see how Telly did that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that brings us to the idea that you can receive mentorship just by watching great people in your space.
You can. You can.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And it doesn't always have to be formal.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where some people might be afraid to reach out for a mentor. You can also get mentors through books. Yeah. You can
Yeah.
also now with social media get mentorship from looking at someone you would want to emulate. How do
Mm-hmm.
they dress? How do they speak? What is their brand looking like? I mean, there's so many things I believe that you can gain just from looking at someone from afar who is doing great things in your space.
Yeah.
So let's talk about some of the best practices.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to separate pitch competitions and accelerator programs. So of course, I know I have some findings, but before I go into my findings, yeah, um,
Mm-hmm.
I want to talk about how do you prepare yourself to be successful in an accelerator program? Because, they can be quite taxing and they
Mm-hmm.
require a bit. That's why it's an accelerator, right? So, how does one um, prepare him or herself?
Um, First decide what you want to get out of that program,
Ah,
right? So
okay.
you would have known what the offering is, what they're offering, right?
Mm-hmm.
May have an idea of what your needs are. How does what they're offering pair with your needs?
Okay.
Right? How does it fit in with what your needs? And if
Mm-hmm.
and when you're going, you know what you're focusing on. That this is the needs that I have. This is what they're offering, and this is what I'm focusing on. Right? Everything else is additional.
Okay.
When you're
So you're telling
overwhelmed,
people
overwhelmed.
don't try to get everything.
No, that's how you get
Okay.
overwhelmed,
Yeah.
right? If
Okay.
you're trying to absorb everything, because you can't absorb everything one time anyway. You learn
That is
things
true.
in steps, right? So focus on what you need to get out of the program to get you to your next step. Everything else in
Okay.
addition, saying that you're not taking it in, you are, right? You jot it down, you record it, so you can always go back, right? And then you keep contact with the facilities because they're gonna tell you if you have any problems going forward, email me. This is my email, this is my WhatsApp number. So you already
Okay.
know that, you can always go back and ask a question. And so you're not
Okay.
losing the additional stuff,
I
right?
like
But
that
it helps you.
idea because people don't go back. People don't take advantage of ask the question, right?
Hmm.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, after, or now let's not even go after yet. All right.
Hmm.
During the accelerator program, what is the best strategy? So you say, okay, before, know what it is you want to get out
Hmm.
of the program because you cannot absorb everything. Then when you're in the program, you say, listen, use that opportunity to ask your questions,
Hmm.
stay in contact with your facilitator. And so you have those additional needs met. Now, with Level Up Ladies, we do have individual uh, coaching as part of the accelerator program. So there's group, but there's also individual. So that gets handled there. Now,
Hmm.
what else should you be doing, especially if the accelerator program is longer? Like mine is 6 months, Level Up Ladies is 6 months. So, what should you be doing during the accelerator to make sure that you are getting the most out of the experience?
Implement what you're learning as you go along. It's always to be waiting until the program is done to say you implement what you've learned throughout the whole program.
Uh-huh.
There's so much that
That
you're gonna
is,
forget.
I know
There's so much that you're gonna forget. Like you
that's
get
true.
more if you learn. Okay, so say we learned um how to create like an interactive thing. Like because take my
Yeah,
store for instance, right?
yeah,
We're talking about having some interactive aspects in the store. You went into the accelerator program that is talking about how to use digital technology and all the technology
yeah,
inputs into your business, right? And you learn this aspect. Why are you going to wait until the end of the program to implement it?
yeah. And then you
Right? You
can't get
implement it right
assistance
away.
either
Yeah, you
if you
implement it
will.
right. When you go back to the next class, you could say, "Well, I did what you told me, and I had this issue."
Yes, let's troubleshoot. Yes,
Troubleshoot.
yeah,
Yeah,
let's troubleshoot. So
and
we
it
do
saves
have
so
some
much.
questions or comments. So let's see. We have Renee Edwards. She says to give yourself grace during the process. It's true, eh?
Yeah.
That's a good one because I feel, especially as I don't know, let me not say as women, but I feel, no, I'm gonna say it. I especially as women who are very alpha and focused and growth oriented, that we can be really hard on ourselves. And I talk about this concept of setting contextual goals. So they talk about setting smart goals, and they have R being realistic. But what I even mean, okay, that's just something they write in the textbook. Okay, take it from teacher Tamu. I mean nothing to nobody. Because what is realistic is based on one's context.
Mm-hmm.
And context changes. Sometime in one week, your context changed 10 times.
Yeah.
So in last week, you know, I was down, I was ill. And so if I'm setting a contextual goal, then the goal for last week had to be diminished, right? It had to be diminished. And similarly, an accelerator program, 3 months, 6 months, the things that you're experiencing in your life over 6 months, right?
Yeah.
You are going to have to give yourself grace. So I like that. I do have a question from Telly for you, Anna. You can't see that, so I'll read it. Do you normally base your decision in participating in the program based on the curriculum they are offering and their focus?
It
Or
depends on
is
the
it where you're
program.
going to get?
It depends on the program what they're offering and what I need.
Okay,
Because if
so it's an intersection then
yeah,
between
yeah,
offer and need,
yeah, yeah,
maybe. Yeah.
yeah. Because sometimes it might be something that I've done before. So for me, it's really a refresher. It's not something I'm
Okay.
learning already. It's just a refresher. But at the end of the program, they're offering something that I need.
Okay. Okay. So give us an example because, we know what you're talking about, but
Mhm.
out there, people might be saying, well, what does she mean by, and give me at the end what I need? What do you mean by that?
So say I might be interested in. going into a market. So take the UK for instance. I want to go and do something in the UK, and I look at the
Okay.
cost to book a plane ticket, pay for hotel and all that stuff, food, participate in whatever trade show they was having. I mean, all the fees associated with that, having to build a booth, having to ship stuff up, clear it, and all of that. It's way beyond my pocket, right? But there might be an accelerator program that is, offering the curriculum, maybe stuff I covered already. I already have that down pat. Um, but I want to go to the UK to participate in a trade show.
Right. And that's
Yes,
the like winning
yeah, that's
gift.
the thing. So I go to the
Yeah.
program and I participate. This is not saying that I'm not going to participate.
Yes.
You go and you
Yeah.
participate. You're always going to learn something new. No matter how many times you do something over and over again, you're going to learn it. You're going to
That
learn
is
something
true.
new.
That is true.
So
Even just from the interaction with different people, you
get
will.
to you get to refine a skill, right? You
Mm-hmm.
get to refine the activity, and at the end, you're even better placed now. You're in better position now to participate in that trade show and benefits that you're looking for.
Great. Thank you. So we looked at before the accelerator, during the accelerator, now after the accelerator. Do you have any best practices for our audience?
So after the accelerator, what I tend to do is once I'm done, I would have implemented quite a bit through the accelerator. If there's
During.
anything I need to like tweak after. Now I have time after to now go through on my in my own pace now with my own
Mm-hmm.
content and go through what I'm trying to achieve now based on what I've learned and how do I fit it in what I'm doing, right? Because you can't
Mm-hmm.
take something flat and fit it into what you're doing, because what you're doing, what they're offering, often isn't the same thing, right? Things work
Yeah.
different every business, right? So you now have
Yeah.
to figure out how to fit what you've learned into your business and how to do this over time, and not just for now, but is it something that you can implement for a long period so you reap more benefits? And how do you do that?
Mm-hmm.
What does it look like, right? So after the accelerator program is how you sort of roll that out. But you're thinking
Mm-hmm.
about the accelerator program as you're learning, but now at the end is when you're rolling that out. Now that implementation of the long process, the long term process, right? And then any issues that you might be having, now you can go back to the facilitator and say, "Hi, my name is Anastasia. I just completed the accelerator program with your facilitator. We went over this topic. I started implemented some stuff and there's some issues that I'm having. Can you spare me some time to maybe troubleshoot a bit, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and that way."
Okay, I like that. Now let's talk about the pitch competition. So we're doing the same thing, right? Before, during,
Mm.
after. So best practices or tips for before that pitch competition. What must they be doing?
So before pitch competition, you need to know your numbers. You need to know your business inside and out. You ain't supposed to have no question people ask you and you're going, "Oh, okay, no." Especially basic things, right? How much money you made in last year? That is not a question that you should be saying me no to.
Yeah. Yeah, like, huh? Not sure. I don't have the numbers. Yeah.
It
Hmm.
should not yeah, even if you have to write it down in your hand, like if you know
Yeah.
write it down in your hand so you could, because they're looking at your hand, they're gonna just think you're nervous anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But you should know your numbers. If there are numbers that you're quoting, because especially here in the Caribbean where we might not have numbers individual to our space, like saying this, like if you ask me that what is the value of the cosmetic market in St. Kitts, there's no way I can go to get that
Yeah.
number,
Hmm.
right?
But you might be
But
able to say there are so many major players, big
in a
businesses, large,
I
yeah,
could
in the market.
say, or I could say, well, we import this amount in cosmetic
Hmm.
products,
Yeah.
right? And so you know that this is a national spend, and you could
Hmm.
use that. But if you haven't gone to look for those numbers, how do you know? And then how do those number impact you? So how much of what you earn, what percentage of what you earn is out of that market? Because you're in that market, you're a cosmetic producer. People are buying your cosmetics, so it's a part of the
Yeah.
spend, the national spend, right? So what is your
Yeah.
percentage to help you determine that market? And it's very easy to get to those numbers, right?
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Think a little bit outside of the box, I think. going forward, going into. It's just not, oh, they just want to know how much money I make, so that is all I'm going to come up with.
Especially in the region, like you said,
Mhm.
because there's a dearth of data, right? So you can't really find data, like targeted data that answer because data is plural, answer direct questions. So you find, you know, you really do have to think outside the box. So you're
Yeah.
saying that preparation is key
Mhm.
and ultimate. So, what about during your pitch competition? And I don't mean just while you're on stage, but the entire experience, with your co business owners, etc.,
I
your
say
fellow
pay
business
attention.
owners.
I say pay attention because you learn something from everybody, right? There might be
I like
somebody there
that. Pay attention.
who's more experienced at pitching than you. What are they doing,
Mm,
right?
mm, mm,
You have facilitators around who, they might be saying certain things. What are they saying? Right? How does what they're saying impact what you're doing, what you're trying to do?
mm,
Right? And take some time to center yourself, especially before you go in, because it don't make sense to go in there and you're all over the place. Just listen to some
mm,
music a little bit. You know, I have this little mantra sometimes. If it isn't a number, a certain number that I'm not going to remember, I put it to music so that I remember the numbers. Right?
mm,
When it's time for me to come, like the song replays in my head, the numbers come. Right? A
mhm,
little thing,
mhm.
you have to think of yourself as well. I know how do you react in certain situations,
Mhm,
and
mhm.
your
And
strategies
keeping
around
cool, right? Keeping calm, trying to, like you said, strategies for staying unruffled.
it.
Because there will be hard questions. Also, every judge, every facilitator, every participant, everyone has a different personality.
Yeah.
And, once you begin doing competitions outside the region in particular, then you know, then you have even more, to consider when it comes to cultural awareness,
Mhm.
etc.
Yes,
Right?
because there are things that in your culture might be offensive, that in another person's culture isn't. And how will you handle something like that? Because if you were home, you
Correct.
would fly off the handle, but in a fish competition, you can't do that, right? So little things like that you have to think about.
It's true. It's
Yeah.
true. You'd be like, what? Yes, but we are not at home. So now you've had the pitch competition. Let us say you did not win.
Mhm.
What's next? What do you do? What's the
Wait,
best practice? You ain't win.
if
Now
you did not
what?
win, you would have gotten feedback, right? For most pitch
Yeah.
competitions, you would have gotten feedback. Things that
Yes.
they would have liked to see, questions you didn't answer. So that is where you take some time and you go back to your pitch deck,
Mm,
right? And
mm-hmm.
you tweak these things that they were looking for.
Mm-hmm.
You ensure
Okay.
that this information is in there. So the next time you go up to another pitch competition, you have those answers, those questions answered.
Okay. So it's not just enough. And I'll give you a anecdote from a couple of women that I would have spoken to. These are North American women, and some of them received their funding, though they had not won the pitch, but they did that because they followed up
Hmm.
and they asked for feedback. So I think that is an excellent point. Sometimes we're just nursing our wounds, right? And not, looking back to improve,
Hmm.
right? So
Yeah.
you need to revisit. Let me put that. Learn, implement, and ask for feedback. So we
Hmm.
do have some comments on the LinkedIn page. For some reason, the LinkedIn stuff hardly comes up here. So let me go in the chat first and see
I'm
if
seeing
I
the chat.
can see. I don't know if you can see it. It's a
I
little
can see
button on my side.
I can see the
A
chat, but the link
little.
see.
No, I am actually on LinkedIn.
Oh,
So
okay.
I have
Well,
to go
I
on the
can see the chat.
LinkedIn page. at the comments. Yeah,
Oh,
that's what
yeah.
I'm realizing. Because I see comments from like Natasha and stuff, but I don't see them popping up.
Oh, yeah.
Uh,
I know
you
that's
see it?
right. No, just
All
I
right.
just have to
So
be in.
Telly is outing you here. So I don't know if you want me to put it up. It's about a tech startup program. Can I put that up on this?
Yeah, go
It's
ahead.
all right. I didn't want to out you. So Telly is congratulating Anna on the UK Tech Startup program.
Thank you. Thank you.
Looking forward to see how you scale strategies. Talk to us a little about the UK Tech Startup program, and that's an accelerator and pitch. And why did you apply?
You know the interesting thing, I tend to apply for a lot of different programs and then forget that I apply for them. Because they may be
Somebody
offering something
came.
that I want to learn, and I apply for it thinking, oh, this would be good for whatever it is, whatever goal I have. But then time
Mm-hmm.
passed and move on to the next thing because it's just time. So
Yeah,
sometimes they come back
not
and they be
that
like,
way.
oh, congratulations, congratulations.
Yeah,
And I'm like, what is this now? Yeah, I have to
yeah,
go back. So
yeah.
what did I write on the application now? Yeah, that
Yeah,
has happened to
I've
me a few
begun
times.
saving mine on things like I begin saving mine. So maybe that's a little tip for you. Just save them in a little like copy and paste or screenshot if it's yeah, and save them. Yeah. So
Yeah,
talk to
good.
us about so you don't remember what UK Tech well, why are you going to this program? Why did you apply?
I think because it had the tech component, um,
Yeah.
and we've been talking about, doing more interactive stuff, implementing technology a bit more, especially in the store,
Yeah.
how we could implement it in business. And so when I saw that, I was like, this is right up my alley, for some of the next steps that I need to take.
Yeah.
So I applied
I
for it.
mean, yeah.
I
Well,
mean,
you can't really do without tech.
it was so heavily focused on tech. I was like, will I get it?
Well,
Then
I
anyway,
think that
yeah.
everyone eventually will be a tech entrepreneur, frankly, of some sort. They're varying levels, but I believe that. I've copied and pasted Natasha's comment. She said that at every level you ascend, and it's true, the information comes across and is received differently as your perspective has changed. And that's true. I actually have a level up lady who was in your cohort, which I think is
Mhm,
cohort two, who's
mhm,
back again for cohort
mhm.
four, just
Nice.
because, her business has expanded and shifted and pivoted so
Mhm,
much. And I think, she is a much more savvy entrepreneur now. And
mhm,
also, I mean, the program has changed. I mean, over 4 years, I learn more, right?
mhm,
And so all of that new knowledge, comes into the space. And then you have a new cohort, a new group of women.
mhm,
So yes, I agree with Natasha there that certainly sometimes you might have been in an accelerator program before, and I'm sure you can attest, or similar programs, but like you said earlier, then you realize, but wait, I can still gain something, right?
mhm.
Telly bigging you up for the UK tech startup, SKN. Oh, we need this song by Small Act Showcase. Right? Yes, St. Kitts and Nevis was the only country in the OECS that was
It was,
selected. Let me
yeah,
big up with self. Our
yep.
entrepreneurship ecosystem is bubbling, and we have some really high growth entrepreneurs in there, like Anna. I saw interesting comment from Renee. Renee, this comment may know where it go because I never see it before. So we can try place it. What if you created your own niche? Let me see. She continues. She says, for instance, I teach women how to take care of their cars and speak to mechanics. I love that, Renee. You know what would it be even better if you had a service where someone would come for my car and do all the thingies. Yeah,
help.
right.
Oh.
Handle that. But that's great. No one else in the region does that. Yes, mechanics do have a reputation
Mm-hmm.
for, not being great with female clients. Even though there are tertiary schools that provide, women drivers are eager to know the basics. So I'm not quite sure when you asked about what if you created your own niche. So if you're still on, if you could like clarify that for us. But I think that let's talk about in the context, your question in the context of what we're talking about tonight. An accelerator program is niche agnostic, meaning that generally, right? Meaning that it really doesn't matter what you do. At least level up, ladies. It doesn't matter what you do, what industry you're in. Of course, there are some that are specific, like an AI accelerator or something like that. But in terms of the industry or what your business model, you just need, like Anna said, to find the right program that
Mm-hmm.
meets your needs. Oh, let me see if this is Renee here popping up. Renee, this you? I look in, Renee, I look in. Let me see. Renee.
I think we were
Re-
talking about numbers, the getting numbers when this when.
Oh, that's what. Okay, well, answer her then. Answer Renee while
So,
I look for this thing that pop up. Hmm.
so I think in Renee's case, you may have to go the broad route and then niche back down. So you would have to go. I don't even know if you would have those kind of numbers, though. Like,
I don't think those are the numbers you're looking for. I feel like those are psychographic things you're looking for. Like, I think that every judge, whether you're female or male, can attest to the fact that they know that this is a problem, right? And maybe you can collect your own numbers, you can collect your own insight, right? For your market.
if
So
she's doing classes already, she already have that insight. She already have that
she has
information.
she has data, so that your traction is your data. But you could also just do a Facebook survey, a Instagram survey, Renee, that's caters to women. You just change the targeting and you ask questions to find out their level of comfort or discomfort, their level of speaking with a mechanic, their level of knowledge, and then you'll have your own data. And then
Also,
if you do some
program like this.
research, yeah, right. Not me. I want you to come for
I
me, yeah. Me no want to do nothing. Yeah.
was
Uh,
like in my early 20s. It
oh yeah.
was
I ain't
interesting.
trying to. No, but it's needed, right? Which
Yes.
yeah. So I think, Renee, you can collect your own data. Like Anna said, you already have data because you are offering classes, which means there's a need. So you have validation. And
Mhm.
also, if you do some research, do some real research, like on Google Scholar, not like, yeah, okay. Real research on Google Scholar. They have some AI tools like consensus. So maybe this is something everybody can write. Consensus. What consensus does is you can put in the question and it will find research articles that answer the question for you.
Mhm.
Like, and it will provide you with a summary. So it said, well, I found these 15 articles that say that yes,
Mhm.
women most 80% of women do not know how to fix their service their own vehicles, and then it will give you each a summary of each of the articles. And so that's also a way that you got to use the tools, girl. You got to use the tools. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's also a way
And then
that
she
you
could
can
even
do
bring
that.
it back down by saying, so she may have in a year she may have taught 100 women, and she could say out of 100 women, this percentage of them wanted
And do
this
X,
or
Y,
whatever.
or yeah,
Yeah.
right? So, yeah, sometimes business owners think they don't have data, but you have data. Sometimes it's not numbers, but qualitative data, people's words, experiences, testimonials, etc. This is all data.
All
Data
data. Yeah.
doesn't have to be hard statistics. So I think that is something that we don't realize. So Anna, talk to us about your brands
Mhm.
your varied brands, um, where we can find you. I'll pull up the little, scrolly thingy there again. So talk to us about, you know what? Let's make it interesting. Talk to me about each of your brands and where or what you might have pitched these brands for. Because I know
Okay.
there's a program or a pitch competition attached to each one, multiple. So let me do that.
Multiple. I think I've
Yeah, man.
picked three of the four brands,
Okay, so let's go down.
and two of them I tend to pair together because they work together. So we have four brands that we produce on the company Sugartown Organics. We have Yaffine, which is our hair care line. It also comprises a luxury body care line brand that is developing quite rapidly. We also have our luxury skincare line, which is Marapa. We have our baby care line, which is our youngest brand. And then we have a food line, which comprises of our very gourmet sauces, salad dressings, fruit wines, treats, the whole works. I've pitched, I think I've pitched Flouriel the most, because
Okay.
everybody got to eat, and the region is just known for its food. So
Yeah.
it's just the
Mhm.
easiest one to pitch.
Mhm.
So we pitched that in Africa. We've pitched it in the UK, and around the Caribbean. It's depends on the time of year. It could be our best selling brand as well. It depends on the
Okay.
time of year. Yafin is doing really well, and runs most of them run races with each other. Sometimes Yafin's ahead, sometimes Flowers ahead. It just really depends on the time of year what's happening. Um, because I do the pitch competitions, I've also been able to travel quite a bit. Um, which was something I think I had as a goal when I was younger. I would travel at least once a year. I've managed that. Interestingly enough, with my business, between 18 and now, I've been somewhere every year with my business.
Mhm.
And it's helped me to sort of build that international footprint,
Mhm.
with as well. So in addition to being able to go on pitch, they're promoting you in that market. So I don't have to go and spend money on marketing, right? And I'm getting customers because I'm there and I'm posting. That's one thing that I do once when I travel anywhere. I post, right?
Mhm.
And wherever I am when I post it, because then you start
Yeah.
to show space, right? Your
Yeah.
brand starts to
Smart.
become visible space. Yeah. And then you get customers that way because then people like what you're seeing, or they might have seen you at the event. They follow the brand, and then they start to, okay, so I know you're back home, but can I order online? And then you
Yeah.
go straight to the website, you know?
Yeah. 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 All right. I was just checking my thingy. Yes, Santa, he's
Hi.
logged in. We used to go
Awesome.
to school together in Nevis way back when he had his non conscious name. So I am not gonna out him about his non-conscious name. So we were schoolmates in Nevis. So Anna, this was an awesome talk. It's always awesome to talk to women who are growing and thriving and doing things that before in the region we seem to think were impossible because of our scarce resources. And so I'm always excited to talk to you. And so just let everyone know where they can find you on Instagram, etc. And
Mhm. Yeah.
we'll wrap for the night.
Yeah, so you can find us on Instagram by our brand name. So Yafin, Marvel for Skincare, Baba's Lullaby, and Floral Foods. You can find us on Facebook, Yafin, Sugartown Organics, and Floral Foods. We also have our website, which is sugartownnaturals.com. You can also find us at a storefront in the Pelican Mall. We've just rebranded the storefront, so it's all nice and pretty and yellow and zenny now.
Ah,
The organic shop. The signs actually went in just today, so it's sort of
okay,
looking
okay.
just in time
All
for
right,
a
I gotta
Display.
come down for my sample
Yes.
set.
It's a simple
Yeah,
set.
that
Yeah.
you're supposed to hold for me.
It's still, man, don't worry. Yeah. So that is how you find us virtually and physically. Also, most people seem to like to WhatsApp. So our WhatsApp number is 869-668-6713. I will respond, just not during the time when I'm supposed to be sleeping. Um, yes, and you'll find me that way. Yeah.
Awesome. So thank you, Anna. From me to you, from my audience to you. Uh, Coaching by Tamu, what's happening with us in the new year? Well, Level Up Ladies begins on January 11th, I believe. We have three more slots available. We do have some new programming as well. We have the quarterly momentum, that's like an accountability program and coaching, that's one on one. And I have a build your organization service now because, I have all these wonderful entrepreneurs, but, they're doing big business, but I used to be a corporate manager. And so I work with you to build a governance structure, HR structure. We do it like VIP, like in a day, and then we continue for 6 months after to help, so I feel like that's a good one. So I only have two
Good one.
slots. Yeah, it is
Mhm.
a good one. It's needed because I see y'all doing the do, but then y'all ain't got no corporation, the corporate
And
thing.
no, you're
Yes,
working.
yes. So yeah,
We have
right.
right now.
uh what
I
you
say
say?
actually started doing the structure for
Yeah,
corporation.
so
Yeah.
I
It's
sit
coaching.
with y'all, and we knock it out, we knock it out, you know, because I've been a manager in many spaces, so I understand what that is supposed to look like. So, visit us, be part of the high growth entrepreneurship, her community. You can go to Coaching by Tamo on Instagram, do the survey, so we can serve your needs and join there, because I'll be shifting from Instagram really and moving everything into the her community, because you can't just do too much. You know how it go. So thank you so much, Anna. I really enjoyed the discussion. Thank you everyone who weighed in. LinkedIn is live and lively there, and we do appreciate it. Bye bye,
Yeah.
Anna.
Bye bye. Thanks for having me. Bye everybody.